y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be playing with a drugstore collection that I feel like isn't getting enough hype here on the internet for as good as the collection is, and that collection is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Collection. Now I believe this came out last year, and when it first launched it was quite popular, but it kind of died down, so I want to give it some life again and share with you why I love it today. So let's jump right into this video. So the sunscreen I have on is the Skin Aqua UV Super Moisture Gel SPF 50 Plus PA4+. So it's been on my skin for about 20 minutes. It's dried down. It has a very kind of smooth, silky feeling. So I am not going to use a primer because realistically in my everyday life, I don't use a primer. And I mean, I don't really use a foundation every day either, but today let's just keep it simple and use the sunscreen as a primer. So to get started, let's add a little bit of hydration to the lips. I don't have a lip hydrator from L'Oreal, so I'm gonna use the Burt's Beast Tinted Lip Balm, and this is in the shade Rose. Ooh, that's nice, like, it's really nice. It has a nice kind of slippiness. I bought this a while back, I just haven't tried it, so I'm glad I'm trying this out. It's really nice, and the tint is nice. It kind of gives you like a nice kind of natural flush to the lips. I'm gonna be starting off with the Age Perfect Serum Foundation, and I have the shade number 15 Rose Ivory. This is a very liquidy formula. I mean, it does call itself a serum foundation, so I normally take a little bit on the back of my hand. Now this shade is slightly darker than my skin is. However, the next shade down is really yellow, and it made my skin look quite kind of sickly. So this one, since it is more sheer, I can make the shade work a little bit better for my skin tone. In a perfect world, I would have this in a shade that's about a half a shade lighter and a little less pink. So I'm just taking a little bit more on the back of my hand, pick it up with this brush. I'm using an IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe number 7 brush, one of my favorite brushes of all times. It's just a great brush for doing your makeup at home, doing your makeup on the go. It's soft, it cleans up so well. That's something I love about the IT Cosmetic brushes. Even though they are pricey, they clean up so well, and for being a synthetic fiber, they are really, really soft. Okay, there we go. I'm happy with that level of coverage. So I'm gonna go in with the L'Oreal Age Perfect Serum Concealer, and I have the shade 200 Ivory. This one I've used on my channel before, and from the drugstore, I might be able to say this is my favorite drugstore concealer. Nice, it's lightweight, it's creamy. You can build it up without it getting heavy looking or feeling, and I don't find it creases notably throughout the day. So most concealers, if you don't set them, you might experience a little bit of setting. Personally, for me, that doesn't bother me. You can just sanitize your hands, pat it out, easy. And also, you noticed I am using the wand straight from the applicator. This is my personal one. If I was working with clients still, then I would use this on a palette and pick it up with a brush. But if it's your own product and you're not worried about your own germs or natural bacteria on your skin, you can use it straight from the wand. I want to let the concealer set under my eyes just kind of as I dot it on, because I want to build up that coverage a little bit. So I'm gonna let that sit there, and I'm gonna blend out the other areas. Because I've mentioned it before in other videos, but as your products kind of sit on the skin, they warm up, they start drying down, the coverage will build up a little bit more, so you can get a little bit more coverage out of your complexion products. And then after we get the concealer on, I'll come in a little bit closer so you can see how things look up close, because what they look like from a distance is not always how they look up close. With this concealer, I like to start by kind of tapping it out after it's sat for a moment, so that way it can kind of start setting a little bit more, but in a thinner layer. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side before going over and blending out. Got my handy dandy little magnifying mirror, so let's look up close. This is why I love it. So you can see it just kind of melts into the skin. It doesn't It doesn't really help to smooth the skin texture. However, the luminosity just kind of creates a nice, healthy looking, consistent tone and texture to the skin. And you can see it was a very easy foundation and concealer where I needed to, and it was easy to blend out. So it's a very easy, no fuss. My biggest complaint is at least the shade selection we have here in Canada isn't the best. However, if you look on their website, if you look at their American website for comparison, there is a much bigger shade range. So there's room for improvement, but there are a nice range of shades. This is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Cream Eyeshadow, and I have the shade number 4, Timeless Taupe. So standard little pot. This is my own once again. If you want to, you can scrape it out. That will help keep your product intact a little bit longer. However, I just use my finger. Once again, if you're working on clients, depot it or take it out with a spatula, put it on because you don't want to spread germs. And I got quite a bit on my finger, so I'm just gonna kind of spread that between my 2 ring fingers and then use my finger to apply all over my lid right up to the socket line. Very kind of sheer taupey color. Nice base, easy for every day, gives enough coverage, kind of balance out the natural tones that we all have in our eyelid. However, it doesn't feel sticky. Okay. Nice subtle color, and I'm gonna use that complexion brush I was using just to pat around the edges. It's a great thing with using cream eyeshadows is to get that nice kind of seamless transition from the shadow to your eye. You can just use your foundation brush or sponge, tap around the edges. I like how kind of clean and effortless this looks on the skin. Really nice. The Age Perfect Creamy Powder Foundation. I have the shade number 300 Ivory. This does work really well as a standalone powder foundation. However, it does have the versatility if you use it with a larger fluffy brush that you can set the skin without making the skin look heavy. So I'm gonna use the ColourPop F28 from the Stone Fox brush roll. And I'm gonna set my entire face because I am using powder complexion products. And I don't want anything to stick. I don't have any powder highlights from the Age Perfect collection, and I don't know if L'Oreal has a powder highlight, so I'm gonna be using the Wet n Wild MegaGlo highlight, and this is the shade Blossom Glow, and I'm gonna use the mini size of this Bobbi Brown Precision blending brush. I featured this in my haul that I did recently, and it came with the little On the Glow illumination set from Nordstrom. So I'm gonna take that just on the top of the cheekbone, work it into the temple for a little bit of that plumping effect to the skin, because you know, we want to look fresh and plump. That's pretty. Now, I do like this highlighter formula. I've used it over the years. I've had different shades. They are really nice. However, I find you need to use them with a little bit of strength, because if you get too heavy-handed, they can emphasize texture. I have it on both sides. I don't add any extra product. I just like to go over and buff that into the skin. You can see, adds a little bit of glow. It is a highlight, so you are gonna get a little bit of a texture enhancement. But when we go over with blush and bronzer, that will kind of help smooth it out because that will tone down the shine just a little bit. Go in with one of my favorite bronzers, and that is out of all the bronzers I have, drugstore and high-end, and this is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi bronzer, and I have shade 01 Light. I'm gonna use that same powder brush we used to set the face, pick up a little bit of my product, tap it off, and I am just going to go over the perimeter of my face, and anything left over will take over the nose and the chin. I have 2 of the blushes from the L'Oreal Age Perfect collection. I ordered these off Amazon because L'Oreal does have an official Amazon storefront here in Canada. So I ordered the shade 410 Rosewood and 415 Peony. They're very similar. The biggest difference is the Rosewood looks a little bit more of a warm kind of pinky color, where the Peony color has a little bit more of like a corally tone. So they're both quite warm tone pinks. However, Peony is slightly warmer, and they both have a subtle luminosity to them. Just to kind of have fun with the colors, I'm going to take number 415 Peony first. I'm going to use a Real Techniques blush brush. I'm going to start back on the cheek, going right between where that blush and bronzer is. I'm going to buff that on. Take a little bit of the blush color and run it right between where the bronzer color meets my skin tone. Get more of that natural kind of sun-kissed warmth to the face. Nose, chin for the same reason. And then I'm going to go in with the shade 410 Rosewood. Same brush, pick up a little bit more, tap off the excess, and I'm going to pop that just on the fronts of the cheek. So quick, easy, and you can see how these products play so well together, because while your skin does look perfected, it does, like any makeup products, you can definitely see a slight amount of makeup on the skin. However, from conversation length, it doesn't register as like heavy makeup. It has a very kind of natural, effortless feeling, which is something I personally love, and I found when I was working as a freelance artist, it's a style of makeup that generally looks good on both men and women of all ages, all ethnicities. It's just something that's very skin friendly and allows you to put your best self forward if using makeup is something you like to do to enhance that. For brows, I don't have a L'Oreal brow powder, so I'm gonna use a powder eyeshadow palette, and I'm gonna use this one. This is one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes, and this is the e.l.f. matte palette, and this is called Nude Mood. So it's just a nice all matte powder eyeshadow, and I believe this is around $10 or so here in Canada. And even though they are all matte shades, they blend out really, really easily. So, because when I was working with different clients, a lot of my more mature clients, they were really opposed to the look of having any type of shimmer or light reflecting on the eyelids, because they felt like it would emphasize their concerns with the eye areas. I personally disagree with that, and I feel like if you use a little bit of a light reflecting color used in a specific placement on the eyes, it can actually make the eyes look more open, more awake, and more youthful if that's the look you're going for. So I'm gonna start with this, and then we'll use the highlights that we used on our cheeks to add a little bit of pop to the eyes. Start off, I'm gonna use the Artis Linear 1 brush. I am gonna pick up a little bit of this lighter kind of matte taupey brown on my brush, tapped off. Now I'm gonna use that just to run through the brows and add a little bit of definition. I love these little Artis brushes for it. However, Artis brushes are pricey. I grabbed them when they were on sale on the Sephora website. I think they were updating the brushes because they're still available on the Artis website. I think they slightly changed kind of handles, so I don't know. I grabbed them while they were on sale, and they're still available on the Artis website, so I'm gonna keep using them. And I'm gonna take my L'Oreal Brow Styler Boost and Set in Clear to set my brow hairs in place. Perfect. Simple, easy, like that's just kind of the tone of this look. Keep it simple, keep it easy, do what makes you feel good. So for the eye look, I'm gonna keep it super simple. I'm gonna use one brush. You can also use this brush I'm gonna talk about to apply the cream eyeshadow. So if you apply it like I did with my fingers, but you wanna soften out the edges and you're not super confident with the blending of your finger, a great brush to use is something like this. This is the e.l.f. Eye Fluffy Blender Brush. This brush I picked up when I was trying to find some great affordable brushes, and it was, I think it's around $2 or $3 here on Canada. I loved it so much, I now have 8 of them. It is one of my favorite eyeshadow blending brushes from high-end or affordable. It is just a great brush, and like I said, it's the e.l.f. Fluffy Eye Blender brush, so keep things looking nice and bright, and a great trick as we get older, because sometimes we kind of lose that natural kind of rosiness to our skin. I'm gonna take this pale pink color, just run that right over the eyes. That will help to neutralize any of those kind of unwanted yellowy tones that we can get. And it just kind of gives the whole face a kind of brightening effect. And then I'm gonna kind of mix together between this mid-tone brown and the slightly lighter shade back and forth. And I'm just going to put that in the outer corner, windshield wiper back and forth, large circles to help kind of blow it up, blow it out, a little bit of smokiness to the effect. The same thing on the other side. Windshield wiper, back and forth, large circles, smoke it out a little bit. And then I always like to keep a tissue or a microfiber. I normally use a microfiber. I just forgot to grab one before I started filming because I can throw that in the washing machine to cut down on my waste I'm creating. And then if you want to add a little bit of depth to the outer corner of the eye to kind of help lift it up a little bit, you can take a slightly darker shade. So since I use these two, I'm gonna take that darkest shade right here. I'm just gonna barely tap my brush into it, knock most of it off, press on this outer corner. I'm gonna do little circular motions and kind of do a subtle kind of V shape or a C shape, whatever you feel looks best on your eyes. A little circle, and then for my eye shape, I like a little bit more of a V shape. Pick up a little bit of our highlighter, use the belly of the brush, the inner corner, and swipe it across. Here we go. Quick and easy eye look. Now to finish it off, you can add an eyeliner if you want to. I'm gonna skip a liner today, and I'm gonna finish off with a mascara. Now, on days like this, when you want to skip an eyeliner, but you still want that definition, find a mascara formula that you enjoy that doesn't transfer. It can be regular, you can do, this effect does work really well, especially with a waterproof, but not everyone wants to wear a waterproof. I don't want to wear a waterproof today because I'm not going anywhere. I like to use the mascara with a small wand. This is the Essence Volume Stylist Lash Extension Mascara. And it has a teeny tiny little brush that's great for getting to all those lashes. And I just like to scrape off any of the excess. Completely optional. If you like a full-on lash look, you can do it. So I like to take my brush, use a handheld mirror, look down, press the wand into the roots of the lashes, kind of little circles back and forth, pull out. And what that's gonna do, it's gonna deposit quite a bit of mascara at the root of the lash. So it's gonna almost give you more of like a liner effect without taking the step to actually line the eyes. A great little trick I just thought about is, if you're someone like me and as you get older, you feel like this outer corner of your eye is starting to kind of go downwards and you don't wanna enhance the kind of downward shape that your eye is taking on, leave your mascara, don't take it out, leave those last few lashes on the outer corner, leave them clean, so that way you're catching the most kind of definition and depth of lashes that's stopping right here. So that way it just kind of makes the eye look like it stops here where it's still lifted and not going downward. So great little trick to help create a more lifted eye effect. So for the lips, I've got one of the L'Oreal Age Perfect lipsticks. This is Age Perfect and number 216 Glowing Nude. When I was looking on Amazon, this is the only color that kind of appealed to me. However, when I got it, it does pull quite brown, like the name implies. NYX Suede Soft Matte Lip Liner in the shade Soft Spoken. And instead of lining my lips, I'm gonna use it on the side just to fill my lips in. So that's gonna make the lips look a little bit more pink. So that way, when you take your lipstick and go on top, it's still gonna pull more brown, but you're gonna have that little bit of a pinky base. I'm gonna take a gloss that is a similar shade, but a slightly cooler undertone, so a cooler, more blue undertone. And for that one, I'm using one of these. It is a fabulous lip gloss. This is one of the Maybelline Lifter Glosses, and this is in the shade 003 Moon. Then our final step for the day is just to set our makeup in place and call it a day. So I'm gonna use one of my drugstore favorites, oldie but goodie, cheap as chips, the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. I saw online recently, this does come in a larger size. So I think here in Canada, the 60 ml size, which I have, retails for around $4 or $5. And the larger size is $7 or $8 for double the amount of product. So great value. And this setting spray, it's a wonderful alcohol-free setting spray. So if you're someone who doesn't like the denatured alcohol or the more commonly drying alcohols in your skincare or your beauty products, this is a great one. So just mist your skin. So for me, on days when I'm tired and I'm not in a chatty mood, I can throw a look like this on in about 5 minutes. So this is one of those simple looks where you can skip some steps, you can add a step or two, you can really kind of customize it to look however you want it to be and to be as involved as you want it to. It's just a fun, everyday, natural, enhancing you, but the best version of you makeup, which is one of my favorite type of looks. So I hope this was fun. If it hasn't been clear, I absolutely love the products from the L'Oreal Age Perfect Collection. I don't care if you are 15, 50, 100, doesn't matter the age. These products are such a wonderful formulation that are just easy to wear. They don't look heavy, and they're nice. They're easy products, and I love easy products because they're easy to use. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching the video. If you've tried the L'Oreal Age Perfect products, leave a comment down below and let me know your favorite product from the line, and if you have a kind of easy makeup product or products that you love using on an everyday basis, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm always looking to find new great products that I can review and share with all of you. So give the video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, share it with a friend, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, y'all.